Alright, so recently I've been getting a lot of questions about how I do my vocals, process, the plugins, the ideas, and most of all, questions about how to use Melodyne well. This video is actually supposed to be a full cook-up, smooth R&B, the whole works, and my camera died in 10 minutes. Luckily, it actually captured the whole vocal process. So, turning lemon to lemonade, a deep dive into how I record vocals. Let's get into it. First things first, I'm gonna start with a progression. This is the foundation for me to build all of my vocal melodies on. I wanna keep it really simple today. Not a lot of flourishes, just the chords in quarter beats. 4, 3, 2, 3. That's the progression, and it's gonna loop throughout the whole thing. I can tell when I'm ready to start recording when I start humming melodies as I'm listening to the progression or as I'm playing the progression. Specifically for vocals that are supposed to be part of the beat, not like a lead vocal, I'm gonna turn on varispeed, and that's gonna give me a really cool tone once I speed it back up. And that's step one. All right, so we've got the progression and varispeed is on. Now it's time to start humming and freestyling melodies and ideas, seeing what sticks. This is one of my favorite parts because it's capturing that magic of instinct and emotion in that moment. So freestyling, mumbling ideas, don't worry too much about lyrics at all, but try and catch a little bit of a rhyme scheme, make it feel like it's put together in some capacity. It'll make your writing easier down the line.
Oh, did I mention this? Baby, did you know you were heaven sent? Had to chose my right to give. No, you're too right in a burden. Too right, there's a Birkin. Oh, too ripe in a bourbon. Too long in a bourbon. Oh, wait, oh, wait.
All right, we got our mumbled vocals and it's a pretty cool melodies going on. I'm gonna note a couple interesting words that I said, and we're gonna build the concept off of this. I freestyled the word Birkin, which
That's the Birkin.
Which could insinuate that maybe there was a gold digger involved, or maybe a status flex of I'm rich or something. And then I said another cool line, which was too long since the bourbon.
Too long since the bourbon.
Which maybe is like a self-growth thing, or maybe it's drinking to forget my pains of this girl. All of a sudden, we're linking these ideas together to create a concept. I honestly think this is one of the biggest cheat codes to working with artists and inspiring them. Something that's gonna make them go, this beat is different for some reason. Why is that? And it's because there's a concept that's built into the beat, and then they're inspired to create off of that. They're gonna create a whole world. So whatever we can do to help them create the world, I think is perfect. Circling back to this main vocal, now it's time to level it up. So we've got cool melodies and we're kind of mumbling. Let's refine every single line. If it's pitchy, re-record it. If we're mumbling, rewrite it. My advice is to go line by line to fix every single section so that you have a unified and cohesive part.
Too right, there's a purpose. Too right, there's a purpose. Too right, there's a purpose. Baby, did you know? Did I mention? Oh, did I found you in a code? Did I mention this? Baby, did you know you are heaven sent? Oh, we were meant to live. Now you know you are heaven sent. Now you know we were meant to live. Had to show my right. Had to show my right to give.
All right, we've got the main vocal take. We can stop here, but for this one, I don't want to stop here. I'm going to add a double, and I'm also going to add a falsetto or like a high on top of it. This is going to widen the vocal and also help it really stand out in the mix.
Too right, that's my purpose. That's my purpose. Oh, oh, all mine, that's a Birkin. Too long since the bourbon. Baby, did you know you are heaven sent?
All right, we've got this vocal. Let's hear it with varispeed off now.
Found you in the code, did I mention this? Baby, did you know you are heaven sent? Now you know we were meant to live. Had to show my right to give.
Nice. All right, now here's the part a lot of people ask about, Melodyne, how to use it well. First, let's define Melodyne. What is Melodyne doing? It's allowing us to redraw the note that I sang in with MIDI. It's insane. And don't ask me much more than that. I usually find there's two different ways for editing in Melodyne. One is the easy fixes, and that's going to be the notes just completely wrong that you sang in, and you got to put it to the right note. It's going to be very easy, very simple. The more difficult ones, or if you're going to try runs, or if you're gliding up to your notes, it's going to be much more difficult to edit those notes and make them sound really smooth if you need to do major changes to them. Just things to be aware of. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is split this note in half and lift it up to E, and then down to F sharp just to feel it out. So that was wrong. That feels much better. What I just did there was use the pitch tool to fix my vibrato because you saw that it was kind of lower than the note should be, and that allowed me to squeeze it back to get tighter to the note. This next note, you're seeing this massive jump off key in my pitch. Then what I'm gonna do is split that. So right where it jumps up, I'm gonna split it so that I can get that pitchy note down to the right note, and then it's much smoother. Now you're not gonna bring it all the way down. You're kind of splitting the difference so that it's a much smoother effect overall. So I put it all back together using the split tool, then started doing more splits to match where the blobs are and where my pitch was. You can see that I did 3 incisions instead of just having that one, and that's giving me much more control over the pitch of my vocal. And when you listen to that, it sounds much cleaner and much smoother. When I look at this next one, it's a little bit chaotic and it's a little bit longer. We're gonna split this thing up. Take note of what I do here. So as you can see, I use the pitch tool to clean up some of the vibrato and some of the off-key moments. And now what I'm gonna do is chop that ending section, which you see the line go down. I'm gonna then fix the blob so the blob can match where that note goes down. It'll make that smooth and nice and clean tuning.
You know you were headed, oh you were headed, you were headed, now you know we were meant to live. Try to chose where I could.
And then you saw I had it on the wrong note, so I had to drag it down, and now we're sounding great. As you can see, a lot of it is just fixing the notes because, again, I'm not the best singer, and so you just got to drag the notes into the spots that they need to be, and then it's going to sound like a professional performance instead of a producer who is a little pitchy on most days. I'm going to let you watch a little bit more of this process, but I'm not going to narrate it, so enjoy, just watch what I'm doing and see what's going on.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Oh, too long in the bourbon. Too long in the bourbon. In the bourbon. Bourbon.
After Melodyne, here's my chain for my vocals. First thing I start with is like a channel strip. Today I'm using the AMAC 9099 from Plugin Alliance. Main things I'm gonna do is compress it a little bit, put a gate on if I need to, and then push a bit of the highs, clean up a bit of the low mids. Then I'm gonna put on autotune at a light retune speed, and that's just gonna catch any of my really pitchy moments that I wasn't able to fix with Melodyne. Then it's gonna be meld to auto pitch, where I'm gonna format shift down or up, depending on what I'm wanting to do, but I love using this with varispeed. I think it gives such a cool tone. Then I'll throw on a filter just to clean up some of the highs, which can get a bit too bright. For reverb, I usually use U80 plate, and for delay, I've been using Echo Boy. I love both of those. I think they sound excellent. Ping pong delay is very fun, but also just a simple delay is good as well. If I really want some extra texture, I'll probably throw on Cymatic's Origin or Chow tape just to give it some vintage flavor or color. And so I might saturate it a little bit harder, or with Cymatic's Origin, I'll crank down the sample rate to give it that real vintage feel. And that is usually where I wrap up vocals. Let's take a listen to what we've got right now. All right, we've got our vocal, but I've actually got something else in store here. Melodyne for instruments, especially when it comes to stringed instruments. So I played in this violin, and I'm not the best player, so it was quite pitchy. Let me show you what happens when I throw it in Melodyne. And now let's check out after Melodyne. Instruments are way easier to edit than vocals because our voices have such a high fidelity. They can be all over the place. They can do the most micro notes. Our stringed instruments are going to be much simpler than a voice. So this is where the camera died. Here's a recap of the things I added. Pads, an ARP, this really cool plucky thing, glide pad. I added this vocal idea, pitch down, just to give it an alternate feel from the sample that we just created. And then after all that, I actually had another vocal idea. This one I did the exact same process, except I chopped it up with Beat Breaker. I used the sleight of hand preset, and listen to how cool this effect is. I think it'd be super cool throughout a whole beat.
Would you ever be? That's the best part. Would you ever know you but the last lie? Would you ever keep you? It's the best part. The best part.
I think that sounds insane. I hope this gives you a better insight into how I record and mix my vocals with the plugins, with the Melodyne tutorial. If you're interested in getting my exact vocal chain, I've just created a full stock Logic one, as well as one with current plugins that I'm using on my Patreon right now. It is dropped, as well as access to exclusive tutorials, loops, more presets, and templates, all available, and more drop every single week. Hop on the Patreon if you're interested. I would love to see you there. All right, and with that, thank you for being here, and let's run the loop.